So sometimes we'll have derivatives that we're trying to do where we can use power rule, but it just takes a little bit of work in order to get there. So power rule involves having, I should have written this before, some version of a, which is a coefficient, times x raised to the n power. So we know if I'm taking that derivative, I just multiply the exponent by the coefficient, and then I subtract the exponent by 1. So I can apply that here even though it may not initially look like it. When I have any variable in the denominator, I can move that into the numerator, but I have to change the exponent from, in this case, from positive to negative. So I'm actually going to do the derivative d dx of 5/2 x to the -4th. So I'm not just moving x into the numerator, I'm kind of removing x completely from the fraction. So it is technically a numerator here, but I'm going to write the coefficient 5/2 completely separate from it so that it looks more like this formatting. So now I'm able to actually take the derivative. So -4 times 5/2, so I'm going to think about that as -4/1 times 5/2, and x is raised to the -4 minus 1, which is -5. So now I'm going to simplify here. Before I even go through and multiply, I can see 4 is a multiple of 2, so I can simplify this accordingly. 4/2 simplifies as 2/1. So 2 times 5 will give me -10/1, or just -10, x to the -5th. If I were asked to, which I almost always will be, to write my answer with no negative exponents, only positive exponents, so I'm going to rewrite my answer as -10 over x to the +5. All right, let's look at this example. So here I don't have a denominator that I'm worried about, but I do have a radical. So my first step here is I'm going to rewrite this expression from radical form to exponential form. So still taking the derivative, d dx, 6, and I can rewrite when I have a cube root. That really means x raised to the 1/3, and that's because here there's really an invisible 1 here as my exponent. So this becomes x to the 1/3. And now I have this in the desired format, so I'm able to actually take the derivative now. So I take 1/3 times 6, 1/3 of 6 is 2. X is now raised to the, 1/3 minus 1 would be -2/3. So now if I'm asked to write my answer in simplest radical form, that means first I need to take this, since there's a negative exponent, I need to move it into the denominator. So 2 over x to the 2/3. And now I need to go from exponential back into radical form. So that would be 2 over the cube root of x squared.